One of the things that I want to reiterate that drives me absolutely crazy is gas blowback rifles, typically M4s, internally are all the same. And I know some of you guys are going to jump on here and say that I'm crazy. I'm not talking about the loading nozzles. I'm not talking about the NS2 gas system from KWA. I'm not talking about any of that in the upper assembly. I'm talking about the lower assembly. Every single part in these, with the exception of WE using a different force engine, I think it was AFC that, I believe that's what it was. It's an updated version of that. If I'm wrong, just, correct me. But it's an updated version of that, so your trigger box is going to be a little bit different. But internally, inside that trigger box, the parts are the same. The only differences in your internals is basically what they're made of. Down here in the WE, you'll see right here this silver piece. Let's use this punch. This is your roller bearing. This is what keeps your bolt carrier system moving back smoothly and easily. Notice that over here, I have purchased for my GMP WOC a brand new steel hammer with a roller bearing that I haven't installed yet. That's why it's not on the table. All of these hammers are basically the same shape. The only difference is the WOC does not have the typical real steel looking M4 buffer lock. The WE does. You have a hammer lock spring. Your sear sets down here in the bottom. This is one of the most open areas that you'll ever see. On the scar, it's totally enclosed and you can't hardly see anything. The KWA, they have a larger roller bearing, but a roller bearing nonetheless. They have a steel boat stop, just like the WE, and they have the high force tension trigger spring, and they have the pin that holds it in, the hammer lock, and of course down here in the back, your buffer lock, which is very sensitive, by the way. It's very small. Okay, now it needs to be a little bit bigger. For me, that's a ding. The WE takes the cake when it comes to the buffer lock. It needs to be up higher, like this one, to ensure better catch. And this one does the job, but it's still, they cut corners there, and I don't like that at all. On the King arms, you have the same size just about in the roller bearing on top of your hammer, but you'll notice that the pin is a flathead screw. This is a piece that typically vibrates loose and out of the system, so you have to watch it. Typical to what I said in my SCAR video, what I will end up doing is I will solder this down, JB weld it on every single one of them. There's no reason not to set it in there permanently. You're not going to change your roller bearing that much, and if you change your hammer, you're going to have to change the whole system anyway. Notice back here in the back on the buffer lock, same as WE. Very high, very beefy, and it's there to catch what's going on. KWA, no, that's not there for them. Your hammer lock is the same, your full auto sear in the bottom is the same, and your bolt stop is the same. Guys, the only difference is what they're constructed of. Now that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about internals. I'm not talking about your loading nozzle. Loader nozzles of your gas system, with the exception of KWA, your King arms, your WEs, your GMPs, you can pretty much cross any of those boat carrier groups with different boat carrier groups and upgrade everything. Not so sure about the WE and their gas system because it's a different engine. But GMP WOC and the King arms, you can cross-reference them all day long.